ladies and gentlemen. It feels great. It feels great to be back home, as always. And I just like to say a big thank you to all of you for taking up time of your busy schedule just to form part of the production tonight. It's been a long 30 days in Liberia. And of course, when we returned, we had to take out a few days to rest our body. But we can't keep silent for a long time. We know you want to hear from us. You want to hear from your brothers and sisters in Liberia. Now, check this out. Don't be selfish now. All right? Invite a few friends. Touch the share button. And so that we can together have a great time tonight. First, as always, let me say a big thank you to Top FM in Zwedru, Grand Jita County. You know, just with Top FM in Zwedru, through the kind courtesy of Seku Kuruma, we have the entire Southeast covered tonight under the sound of my voice. Then we go to Monserrado County, Magibi, Cape Mount, Grand Bassa, Bong, Bakolu, Nima, you name it. Joy FM 101.9, Live FM 104.1, and Super FM 95.5. Folks, welcome. Yeah, I talk way. We don't know muzu anyone je madobo to dry ajo adiwa pop. Mo jimi a dire mo kloya dueblo. Duwe wen chance on it. Basi yon pro. Se kongri a yekpedia. Ni sao pokri ki akpake yo. Trust no shadow in the dark. The heart of a man is never known until he rises, because there's no second chance to make that first impression. Don't see okra and swallow bone. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. When you see the crawfish comes from underneath the water and see the crocodile here sweating, don't say that lie. Folks, the medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia, the broadcast commissioner, ASHFORD the Giant, the Now You Know Me Garley. Welcome. And as always, folks, I have my co-pilot, my co-host, the veteran himself, VOLCANO SHELTON, is in the building. Please join me in as I introduce him to you.
Wow, you're back in the States, my man. You're back in the States. I saw your post from the oven to the freezer.
Shelton, we are back in these United States of America.
Yeah.
It's great to be back home, Shelton.
I can see it all. I mean, you had your first burger yet?
I have several burgers.
All right. Good to see you again, my man. Welcome home. Welcome back. This is second home, but you just came from the motherland and the native homeland, Liberia, and you went through a lot. And some of the things you talked about, one of those things had to do with money not being in the banks. And I think the American embassy came out with a statement on that we'll be looking at shortly. But Yeah, just tell us, how was the flight coming back?
Well, the flight coming back was terrific. Uh, I mean, we started off from Liberia to Ghana. You know, in a nutshell, the flight was uneventful. You know, but when we arrived in Ghana at night, Shelton, and Ghana looked as if we were in Europe. I mean, electricity all over the place. And luckily, I had one of the lawmakers flying with us, Edwin Snow. So that turned to Snow and said to Snow, "Look at Ghana, Snow." And Snow said to me, "They are not waiting for you. They're not waiting for y'all. But this is a lawmaker. He's been represented over 15 years. He's one of the longest serving representatives. He's now senator-elect. What are you people doing? You travel to other parts of the world and see good life. But Liberia continues to remain in dark. What's wrong with that picture?"
And he should have said they're not waiting for us, not y'all, because he's a part of the us.
So then we moved to Nairobi, Kenya. I had the option to fly to Dubai or spend the night in Kenya, but I wanted to stay all night to sightsee a little bit, So they put us in a hotel and gave us a transit visa to spend the night in Kenya. And Shelton, you will be surprised. For the 24 hours I stayed in Kenya, I never saw cash. You get in the taxi, to pay the taxi driver, you're doing it from your smartphone. You go to a restaurant, you are paying from your smartphone. You go to get gas, you're paying from your smartphone. I'm like, wow. And the place is late, man. I mean, people balling out of control. So I went to this spot.
Nairobi is developed.
Oh man, I went to this spot off of Mabusa Highway. Oh my man, you don't want to be caught up in the traffic on Mabusa Highway. The traffic is huge, man. I mean, you would be in the traffic for hours, man. So we got to the place called Blackie's Lounge. Outside of Nairobi. Man,
you were balling, my man.
the Tusky beer, I think. And I met some of my longtime friends there, Blackjack, like Edizana Brown, Joe Cora, friends that I grew up with, man. And these boys are living in Kenya. And in Kenya, the people will tell you, say, diversity is our strength. Shelton, you can be a Lebanese man. In no time, you can become a citizen. You come from India, in no time, you can become a citizen. Because what this does for the country is it develops the country. If you allow other people to come from different countries to be citizens of your country, it will develop your country. But not in Liberia. Shelton, we were born in Liberia. We were raised in Liberia. Because we come to America for a better life, when we go back to our own country, the people see us as outsiders. We need to stop this if we really want our country to improve. Ghana is on the way to that same path where you will no longer be bothered with cash, man. Just from your smartphone. Tip me. Listen, it's the next big thing for Liberia, because this is exactly what tipping is doing. Now, I had the opportunity to visit a few supermarkets, and people are using tipping now. Just go from your smartphone, pay your LUC bill, buy your groceries, buy your bag of rice and your oil, just like that. But our Liberian people would love to touch the money. We are so used to touching the money in a sense that we don't even pay attention, to this kind of innovation. But I'm telling you, man, people in other parts of the African continent are having a blast and they are living a life. We can't do this in Liberia. First off, we don't have electricity. Shelton, you live on the old road. You will have power for 1 hour. And the next time you have power is 3-4 days later. They will ration the light today that old road, tomorrow that Congo Town, the next day that Mama Point. It's so frustrating, my man. You know, people want to work from home. You know, they're used to electricity, but they don't have it. And that's why we stayed to where we had to stay, because we needed 24-hour electricity to do what we do. You know, the life that we are used to living now, we can't do it without electricity. You know?
I mean, listen, it's sad.
And the problem of money not being in the bank. Look, I will say to you that President George Weah shot himself in the leg. This boy had a golden opportunity to do what he had to do for that country because of the love the people had for him. You won election, you won 14 counties out of 15. You don't go to tell the people thank you for almost 3 years. Here comes special elections. That's when you say you're going to tell the people thank you. The man did not visit the people. He building homes in Grand Crude and Grand Jita and other places. What happened to the homes you built in Grand Crude? How did the people vote? The people in Grand Crude that never saw flush toilet before. You try to change their lives. But they said to you, no, this is not what we need. We need you to show us that you really cared about us. They want to feel you. They want to touch you. They want to hear you talk. But this guy doesn't talk. This guy gets comfortable in fucking clone church. He feels himself when he gets to play free-time ball in the rain. He goes to the studio to sing Mr. Lion Man. This boy has told Liberia, he's told the people around the world that he no longer wants to be president, and we're still forcing the boy with the presidency. The boy is tired. The boy wants to leave. Shelton?
So, but listen, before we come back to President Weah, I wanted to just quickly read out for our, viewers and listeners, those who are traveling and who may not have seen this, quickly. It came up from the U.S. Embassy, Monrovia, Liberia. Travelers should be aware that it may be difficult to obtain cash from banks in Liberia and should plan accordingly. Liberia's banking sector has experienced a growing shortage of cash, both U.S. and Liberian dollars, over the last several months. As a consequence, it is difficult to obtain adequate cash supplies from ATMs and banks. There are no ATM facilities for public use at the U.S. Embassy. Amounts of U.S. dollars over $10,000 must be reported upon entry to Liberia. Travelers may exit with no more than 7,500 U.S. dollars. Some actions to take include: make sure your health insurance plan provides coverage for you overseas. Most care providers overseas only accept cash payments. Bring cash sufficient for the duration of your trip. Secure your possessions when you are in public areas. Avoid displaying or carrying unnecessary valuables and large sum of money. Rather pay expenses such as hotels and flights by credit or debit card when possible. Check with vendors to ensure credit and debit cards are accepted. There have been reports of financial information being compromised, even at hotels where credit cards are routinely accepted. The U.S. Embassy cannot assist with bill payments. So this is what came out of the embassy. But still traveling to Liberia amidst all of this, because it's love for country, especially these seasons. A lot of people still going to Liberia. I know of a lot of people who left today and going this week just to be in time for the Christmas. So hope they, can check up some of these information because it will help them as they go about. But let's come back to President Weir. Um, you said that President Weir lack of uh, demonstrative leadership suggests that he doesn't want to be president anymore. What I want President Weir to think about tonight, if he's listening, as I always say, if he's listening, and sometimes he could be listening through the ears that he has around him, um, to see himself as the vessel that holds the wine. What do I mean? President Weir is a fine vase. He could be a golden vase, he could be a silver vase, and he holds the wine. The wine are the people around him, especially the people who don't mean well for his government. The people who just using this opportunity to enrich themselves and have nothing to do for the poor people. The people who continue to tarnish his image. Those are the wines. And the savor, the taste is bitter, it's of no good. So how to get rid of them if he's the vessel? Spill the wine. Spill the wine and get some new wine. New wine would be new breed of the right minds, people who want to work for the country, not against the country, people who want to work for the people, not against the people. And if I were him, I would bring guys like Darren Dillon Close to say, man, listen, how can we work together to improve this country? Bring Yombli Kanga. Don't see them as your adversaries. Don't see them as your enemies. See them as people who mean well for the country and align with them so that you can improve the country. And so that would be my thought for Mr. Weir. And some of us who have leadership background, who are well schooled in leadership, uh, will avail ourselves to give him, some of the things that he needs to understand, to talk with him, and hope that we can improve, the country. I'm not looking for work. I just want good for Liberia. And in my own weak way, I can make, that offer to the president and say, listen, maybe you can do X, Y, Z for the good of the country and for the good of your leadership, and things can turn around.
And let
But
me
rather than just, continue to just stay in the same, slow pace, don't care, don't want to say anything, it's not helping the country. Even if he leaves tomorrow and leaves the country with nothing, his being there will have not done anything for the country. So we
okay.
all want a better Liberia.
Let me give you the elections report in a nutshell. Seditions through the aides of George Weah. They said they were going to win all 15 seats. You asked for 15, you lost 12. You only won 3. Some people said they were going to resign. Some people said they were going to commit suicide. Some people said you should call them animals. But the verdict, Shelton, the verdict from the election had to do with the alleged stolen 16 billion, the missing 25 million that was meant for the mop-up exercise, the 4 auditors that died mysteriously, the missing young men. Shelton, one thing that you can't play with is the people money. When George Weah came to power, assistant ministers were making $3,000, around 3,000, 3,005. Now, because of the so-called harmonization, they're making $1,700. And this is not something that is a one-time thing. Every month, if you were getting 74,000 Liberian dollars, you'll notice that you're getting 64,000 Liberian dollars. And it will also affect the US dollars. The country is so tough. But this boy and those who he find within his clique feel they own the country. And George Weah is a person that is perceived as unserious. He's clueless. But the Liberian people, evidenced by his action to play free-time ball in the rain, to only speak at the fucking clone church. And then Zombie saying coronavirus song, the latest version of the newest one that Mr. Lion Man. So, who lying here now? Who lying? This is what the Liberian people are saying. Shelton, this will surprise you that businesses are shutting down because there's no electricity. How can you do a business in a country that does not have light? This man in 2005 said the country needed light and water. For God's sake, this is 2020. You are the president. You come to power. The first thing you started doing is to break down your old homes and begin to build new ones. Listen, Shelton, when somebody tell you say you can lie, get a sedition, just leave your own God. These guys can lie. They have no credibility. Listen, you know, Liberia needs to grow up. Shelton, I went to Liberia with an open heart, where I don't see myself being a partisan for any political party. Because we disagree on issues, that does not mean that I can't visit your camp. And in this case, after I got the invite to visit the Thomas Father camp, I went with open heart. And God be my witness. What I said, some people heard it. I said, I am not for CDC. I am not for the opposition. I am a Liberian international journalist. I've come to Liberia to do a coverage of these elections. Whoever becomes the senator, we need you to put Liberia first. That's all I said. The next thing I know, they deleted the video. My picture was on there with microphone, but you see the man with microphone, but why we can't hear what the man talk? These citizens are so desperate for good things to come their way. And I said this before I went to Liberia. I said, if I should have a conversation with citizens, I would speak to George Weah himself. And I would tell him what is on my mind. And I would tell him about how people think about him as a president of Liberia. And I'm still asking Sir Joseph and Thomas Fowler to openly apologize to me. I worked hard to earn this reputation. You can't just come and make it seem like I am just some kind of Joe Blow. And Shelton, most of our brothers and sisters back home that find themselves in the media, I am sorry for them. They're easy to compromise. Do I look at somebody to do an interview with you and wait around for you to give me $20 to pay my way? Before we interviewed Alexander Cummings the other day, he told his Secretary General, what's his gentleman's name? Aloysius told, oh, tell Ashford to come to my apartment complex and do the interview. I said to Aloysius, no, I will do the interview from my hotel room and we'll do the interview via video. I said the same thing to Ambassador Joseph Human Boyka. You don't go to these people. You don't get under the cloud for them to think that they own you. You know? But I just leave my brothers and sisters on this side who crucify me when they never had the fights. I just leave it to them. At the end of the day, we only have one God, and God will judge us for what we do, whether in the dark or in the presence of people. Shelton?
So I will not even, let you bother with this, because even the CDC camp has not come back to refute, what you've said regarding you not endorsing.
They able?
And yeah, so I think it's over. It's under the carpet. I would think that it's not even necessary to bring it up. It was just one of those ploys to hopefully gain some of the kind of notoriety that needed for the campaign. And of course, you were very swift to refute it. And so I would say just let it be. But you talked about, the CDC hoping to have won 15 counties, and they won two out of the
One
50.
three.
Is it two? Three,
Yeah.
right? Three. All right. So you have two of new breeds of senators and representatives coming into the House. We continue to review the credibility of these guys. Are they coming in because they want the lucrative salaries and the benefits that come along with being a representative or a senator? One of the persons who I've listened to and I've followed his campaign messages, and as simple and straight talk he put it, this guy was the first in the political spheres of Liberia to have gotten money from the people. And I'm talking about Darius Dillon,
Mm-hmm.
where he didn't have to give money, give rice, give this, give that. A little girl in a wheelchair gave Darius Dillon 200 US dollars from her little disabled efforts. The Gisi chief of Doe community gave Darius Dillon, I believe, a little over $5,000 that was raised by the community. And that tells you that the people believed in what he's about. Now that he's won these 9 years, is he going to stay committed to this cause? And with a new breed of, representatives and senators who come on board will do the same. For example, Brownie Samukai, Emmanuel Nukwe, who was once Speaker of the House. Uh, you know, this is Edwin Snow, who we talked about the other night, who can dabble in politics and play the dead, games. Are these
Mm-hmm.
guys going to really come to work for the people? Because this is the opportunity to set President Weah straight. If they don't come to work for the people and they come back to go behind closed doors, cross deals, and get richer, then those people votes, Ashford, you saw it, you were there, will go in vain. So having 12 new breeds in the house is an opportunity for the House of Representatives, the House of Senate, to be as unanimous, as accountable, as separate. This is the opportunity for separate branches of powers, and then hold the executive branch foot to the fire. If they miss out on this opportunity, then the Liberian people are doomed. And I will hope that these guys will live up to the campaign promises that they made and not take the people for granted. Because in as much as they're there for 9 years, 9 years will come and go like the snap of your finger. And then what happens? Liberia will remain. Liberia will always remain. People will come and people will go. Presidents will come, presidents will go. Breed of politicians will come and go. But the Liberian people and the country will remain. So let them use this time to make the change.
And when you see with the filth that we have in Monrovia, I mean the city is dirty. You see Jefferson going from press conference to press conference and yelling all over the place. You know what he's doing? Shelton, Jefferson Koji is crying. And you know why he's crying? Under the responsible government, George Weah will be audited, if possible, sent to jail. Jefferson Koji will be audited, if possible, sent to jail. Under the responsible government, if Jefferson Koji is not audited and sent to jail, he will now hold a janitorial job in America. In Liberia. This boy needs to go back to school. So when you see them yelling at this, listen, time has caught up with them. They have no future. George Weah has literally damaged himself within 3 years as president of Liberia. And that's why you see these people yelling all over the place. Let me give you an example of how they do the COVID-19 test. It's somewhere behind Sophie ice cream where the vice president has her house. It's the last building to your right before you get to the sea. I went the last Friday to take my test. I was the first person. So I told the driver, do not drive in the fence. I will walk. Got in there with my mask on. Went through everything, you know. I went and did my test. The first person taking the test, they said, come back Monday morning for your result. I went back Monday morning, Shelton. They said, oh, you're not in the system. But people who took the test after me had already gotten the results. Shelton, the librarian, will say, Grandma. We had Liberians in the hallway yelling. People have missed their flights. They can't travel without the COVID results. So I'm starting to panic. I said to myself, I should hold your peace. So I left, came back by 12 o'clock. I said, yeah, I'm ASHFORD GARLEY. What's up? They said, Mr. Garley, you're still not in the system. I left and went outside to get a breather. I came back at 1 o'clock. I asked, they said, actually, you're still not in the system. Then I started getting angry. And I said to one of the ladies, if I don't get my result today and miss my flight, the noise I will cause in this town, it will take the military to come for me. That's the only thing I say, and I walk away. 15 minutes later, I got a text message. Mr. Garley, you have been approved. You are COVID-19 negative. I said, you can't go. And right away, I went to the hotel, packed my thing, and started going to the airport. There's no damn system in the country, man. The National Health, the Ministry of Health, there's no damn system, Shelton. $75 is not a small money.
Not to put system in place.
Therefore, you pay $150 because it depends. If they say you are positive, then you are given a few days to come back. And let me tell you, the reason why I said this government, and I will include George Weah, they are very wicked. Edwin Snow was supposed to leave the country to go to Abuja to perhaps solicit campaign funds. You know, I'm not a fan of Edwin Snow, but we got to call spade a spade. The man went for a COVID test. They said the man positive. And you're supposed to be quarantined for 14 days. They said the man will be quarantined for 21 days. Just so this boy will not have chance to campaign. Can you imagine that? Political witch hunt. Why are you doing this to your own Liberian people? Why? Is that what the people elected you for? You don't like the man, so when you know that the man traveling, then you pour COVID on the man. But I was just waiting for them to say, I get COVID. Every 5 minutes, I'm going to go live in our country and will make it miserable for George Weah. I was waiting for them. But they knew better. They knew better. Shelton?
And if you're going to be getting $75 per person, then why wouldn't you have a good system in place? Imagine how many people go into Liberia. As I said earlier, that a lot of people over these last months have been going. There's just something magnetic about our country. There's just something magnetic, something that is unexplainable. The Liberian man love for his country. I mean, Liberia can be on fire. Once flight is going there, we'll go there and help to put the water out. That's how much we love our country. And for only a few group of people to just continue to make it difficult and unfortunate, it's not the way to go. Our country has so much prosperity ahead of it. And if we just do the little things, collectively, and we can do so much better than even the other countries we continue to rave in Africa and how they're doing. How much more? We have some of the best sceneries. We have some of the best beaches. We have green forest, greenery all over the country, mountains. What's wrong with us? Why can't we just come together and do this thing together? Why?
But Shelton, would you blame the people who say, I don't care about Liberia, I don't want to go back there? Shelton, look, I just got back a few days ago. There's a stimulus that's about to be passed. We'll have access to money. What happened to the 30 million United States dollars stimulus package?
They put it in the pockets.
Where people were supposed to get food and things. When the pro rest came out, Shelton, guess what? If you're not part of CDC, you will not see pro rice. The vice president even said it. That for us to look at you, you got to join CDC. This is our time. You have to be part of CDC. When do I have to be a member of CDC to benefit from donation that came in for the entire country? You remember when we used to stay online to get ration from self? You promised the people the stimulus package, 30 million United States dollars. How many of those people received that package? You have to ask them.
And our money could go a long way.
Which party do you belong to? Are you a sedition? If not, they will push past you. What kind of system is this? This boy that was completely broke, they made out using P4 drum to flush his toilet. Just in 2014, even at being senator, the people gave you the presidency, and this is what we get in return. Really? George Weah, really?
But you know what Ellen told George Weah during the campaign? People talk, when people say Ellen, think that we hate the old lady. That's not true. It's just that the old lady did some ugly things. And people who think that she did so much for Liberia in those 12 years, they're missing the mark. This woman told George Weah, do you know what it means to be president? You better don't compromise. I told my vice president that I wanted generational change. I wanted young people to take this country. And so don't let nobody fool you. You can make more money being president than for them to buy you out. Can you imagine that?
And Shelton, one of the things I would say to Samuel Toy and George Weah, do not threaten, do not underestimate the power of the media. Samuel Toy said he was going to weaponize the media. And now the momentum has shifted. The momentum is on the side of the opposition. Make good use of the momentum. Between now and 2023, you now have the opportunity to put your act together as to who can become the face of the opposition. What I saw in Liberia, George Weah is done. George Weah is finished. I went through the wave. I went through the tsunami. I went through the Atlantic Ocean. I'm talking about human beings. I saw these people in droves. Some of them that work for the government say, Ashford, don't bring us on camera, but we are tired. This man is wicked. This man doesn't mean well for the country. This is the only man who feels that he's the only one that can function from the west below. You smart in the legs and empty in the brain. This is the man we have as president of the country. Literally, this is what the people were saying in Liberia. The opposition, you have the momentum on your side, make good use of it, stop the inner fight, and put Liberia first. And for those of you, the just elected senators, I'm begging you, if you don't want us to come after you, please put the interest of the people first. What will be your legacy after 9 years or 7 years? That is if the referendum holds. For those of you who are senators and representatives for CDC, George Weah will be gone one day. But put the interest of the country first, and not because of party.
Yep.
I am telling you, the Liberian people, they're not stupid. They will not speak when you want them to speak. Shelton, you know what it means to intimidate people, to brutalize people because they want to speak out? People can't protest now. So they say, you know what? Since we don't have the opportunity to protest, we will vote. And they voted. George Weah and his team wanted 15 seats. They lost 12. That alone should send a message to George Weah to look around himself, look around, put the country first. Stop the wearing the brand name and all that kind of stuff. You know, I mean, how many women does one person need, my people, to make you come? And when you in your 50 now, it doesn't take much to make you come. But this guy seems to have too much energy. All the women in Liberia, he ain't stopped there. He want to go after a friend and woman. I mean, what is this? You want to be president for? Yeah, Shelton.
Like you said something, and I kind of reflected quick when you said that the guy is smart in the legs and empty in the brains. Listen, President Doe came to power. I was a young man, I'm young lad, not man, rather, a small boy. Put it the Liberian way. I was probably just 10 years old. President Doe came to power, and quite frankly, he didn't have the education and exposure even that George Weah has. To be honest with you,
Thank you.
just traveling the world and just playing soccer at the highest level was a serious degree of eye-opening and education for President Weah. If he didn't learn anything from those exposure, then I don't know what else can he learn from. Seriously. So President Doe came to power with an infinitesimal amount of exposure and education, probably less than ninth grade, in as much as he claimed he graduated from high school. But there was a guy who was ambitious and wanted to learn. And look at those 10 years, what did Doe do? Go to school, sit in the classroom, and you could see the evolution in this man's speech, his confidence, the transitions he made within those 10 years. I was a young boy in school, but we followed politics. I've always had love for radio. And look at what this man did. I paid attention to those speeches, watched him on television, and all of that. And I saw how he transitioned year by year and improved. So again, President Doe had little to nothing compared to what President Weah had. He left Liberia in the latter part of the 80s, traveled to Cameroon, went to Europe, stayed forever in Europe, played for some of the biggest clubs, hanged out with some of the biggest, stars. That in itself was education for him. So I don't know. Maybe some people just cease to grow, and he's one of them. Yes,
But
the man has a master's degree,
again, Shelton,
a bachelor's degree, and an honorary doctorate.
Shelton, you have to be
What's
willing.
going on?
Shelton, you have to be willing to learn.
Yeah.
You have
What's
to be
going on?
willing to accept constructive criticism. In George Weah's book, when you criticize George Weah, you become his enemy. When you tell George Weah this is the way to go, he doesn't like to be questioned. George Weah wants to have his way. If not, you're not going to be a friend. That's why he likes McGill, and he calls him McGee. So everything George Weah says, McGill will say, "Yes, sir." McGee, let's do that. Yes, sir. And you heard the people that anything they're pregnant. Anything they're pregnant said that I would do. That McGee now, anything they're pregnant said I would do. You heard Moluba Molu that George Weah will leave the country, go abroad, use our country's name to get money. He comes back to Liberia and says to Toe, "The money I brought, they're not your Liberian people money, they're my own money." And they would take the money to his house. George Weah would take a driver from the United Nations, aka ice cream, that knows nothing but administration, and makes her deputy at the National Port Authority simply because he's sleeping with her. Don't take my word for it. This is something that Moluba Molu said. And Moluba Molu said this. What Moluba Molu said on that tip happened on December 8th. He said, when George Weah picks up your hand to say your vote for the man, don't be surprised, he will not vote for you. Literally, George Weah has damaged himself. George Weah has damaged our country just within 3 years. About the people do, they say they both people giving us hard time. They'll just put anybody there, and this is what we get in return. Shelton, our people are suffering. Shelton, everybody in the country is corrupt. They stole my iPhone 11 from me. And as somebody that brought them in to be security. He said, you know what happened? You said the phone fall down. It's not about the phone, but my contacts.
Yeah, the content in the phone.
Application that I have in the phone. Now I can't access my bank from Liberia because my phone is gone. You know? And that's when people go back home, they like to stay by themselves, all by themselves. You bring people around you, you think you want to be a little bit sociable. Frenchman says sociable. You want to be a little sociable? Now no, they had their own intention. Look, everybody is a suspect in the country, Shelton. Look, I've had managing directors from autonomous agencies said to me, Ashford, if they bring a true auditing firm in this country, we're all going to jail. Because when the president get ready, he said, bring me the amount of money. Bring me this money. And don't be surprised why George Weah still has Juan Boudique as the LACC boss. Because this boy came purposely to loot our country. The man does not give a damn of Liberia. Who told you Joshua loves Liberia? Joshua brings his brother, his Jamaican brother-in-law. The man goes to the southeast to mine gold. They will take the AFL
equipment
and use it to dig gold. Then they bring in helicopter to take the gold and carry it out of the country. These people have good lives in their country. Liberia is still in dark. Are you surprised the way the people voted? Joshua built homes in Southtown, and they're still questioning, they're still fighting for votes. What is wrong with that picture? Then I see my own friends then telling me, say, my man, for your age now, I think you should join, you should come and support We Are and do this. My own friend, one of them on here right now, in my head, in my hardcore, I will call his name. If I will call his name. Oh, my man, can join CDC and blah, blah, and blah. You think everybody not good money? You think everybody doing that good money? I'd rather beg my brothers and sisters here watching the platform to donate to Bridge Radio Africa than to take money that is not meant well for our people. The people are so wicked, man. They're so wicked to their own people. How do you feel? I mean, I could afford anything I wanted. Shelton, this will surprise you that I spent almost $6,000 in 30 days in Liberia. That's how expensive that country is.
It is. I said it before. So
if I didn't have backing from here, I would have been compromised. You know how many journalists compromised in Liberia? Some of them would just take when they say that I don't say anything. And don't depend on one vehicle because the roads are so messed up. You need 2 cars, Shelton. So if their other car breaks down, you can get another car to move around. You know? This is not fair, man. You just the other day you were on the outside looking in for 12 years. You finally get the opportunity. Listen, man, I saw seditions on Kerry Street eating coconut, walking by land. But some seditions in the diaspora that can better express themselves, it is alleged now that they took money just to call black white. My man, we're giving you election report in real time. People lying to the people that Thomas Fowler is winning. What kind of nonsense is that? Why would you lie to the people? What kind of propaganda is that? And that's why Shelton will do everything in our power to make Bridge Radio self-sufficient. When we go to Liberia, we don't see opposition. We don't see ruling establishment. Somebody tell me, say, oh, you lie. You came to Liberia to support Dara Dillon. I don't give a damn about Dara Dillon. I didn't go to Liberia to go support Dara Dillon. Dara Dillon didn't even know how I went to Liberia. I went to Liberia because of Liberia. I felt that the Liberian people needed change, and that's what we did, what we had to do. Ask me when the last time I spoke to Dara Dillon for you to come here and question my credibility that I went to Liberia to support Dara Dillon. Don't bring that nonsense to me, man. Shelton?
Yeah, I know. But don't act like we are now when they accuse you, they ain't get first. Sometimes the accusation, You can't control it, but honestly, to defend you and knowing that for me, my credibility ties with yours, and if ever you become compromised, it tarnishes my image if I, work with you. And so knowing you, you wouldn't do that, and everything you did for DeLong was all because we all wanted,
I didn't do it for
to
Delon
really
though.
get
I
the
did it for
change we need.
Liberia. It was not about Delon. I'm not friends with Delon. Delon is not my friend that I speak with every day. I speak with you every day, Shelton. There are people who I call my friends. Delon is not my friend. Delon is a politician. He did what he had to do to be elected. And when I went, I saw what the Liberian people was looking for. And in this case, the rest of what Delon was saying. That does not mean I support Delon. That does not mean I support Thomas Fala. I support Liberia. The Liberian people have spoken, and we should do everything in our power to make sure that the Liberian people continue to speak. In America, you don't see the stamina packet does not see Democrat or Republican. They see Americans. They see people who have suffered from COVID-19. In Liberia, if you're not part of CDC, you'll be lucky if somebody pay attention to you. And this should not be like that. We have got to change.
Absolutely.
Change our ways. Come on, man.
And you and I know it. The money that we're getting in stimulus package, if we should get the stimulus package, that's money we've paid over the years in taxes. And so it's kind of due us to kind of give us some kind of little financial boost as we continue to encounter this ugly pandemic. Even though not everyone who's going to benefit did work, but for the most part, the working American people have continued to pay tax to improve the financial economy of the country. And so at the end of the day, when something like this is distributed, it's across the board. But you're right. Your entitlement to a public benefit should not be tied to party affiliation.
And Shelton,
What belongs to Liberia belongs to Liberians.
and I
It
agree.
doesn't belong to the CDC. It doesn't belong to the Unity Party.
And that's right. And I agree that people are angry, they're frustrated. Some of them say we in Liberia, we don't want to pay taxes because when we pay the taxes, the people will go ahead and eat the money. No, it is your responsibility to pay your taxes. Shelton, if you and I both were not paying taxes, we wouldn't have been eligible to get stimulus package. That's the fundamental thing about this. You have to pay your tax. When you wake up, pay your taxes. So because you disagree with the government, that does not mean you should not pay your taxes. I've heard politicians on the other side saying there's no need for them to pay taxes because the people will eat the money. You build a house, pay your real estate tax. You own a business, pay your taxes. Whether George Weah steals the money, whether George Weah does whatever he wants to do with the money, pay your tax. At the end of the day, you remain in business. You are a patriotic Liberian. But I can assure you that George Weah will leave one day. And when we have a responsible government come in play, George Weah will be audited. We all thought George Weah was going to audit the previous administration.
But they're all in a cahoot, man. Come on.
He decided not to do so. Come on. I don't have facts about the previous administration, about some of the things that people are saying about them. But I can assure you, if George Weah have much of the courage to say, you know what, let us audit these people, then but the man came with a preconceived idea that I want to steal. I want to steal. And of course, he started stealing.
So you can, I guess we can do a quick go back when Taylor became the most prominent, rebel leader at the time, not president. And he had a greater country, meaning Greater Liberia, as he remembered it was called. He told a man, he said, my man, we ain't got no money to pay you. Whatever you do, you do it on your own, right? You go, you just take people's houses, rather. take cars, do whatever you want to do. Just make sure you bring the puppy home. So maybe that's what the men are doing, to Liberian people well. But to be honest with you, let's we try to put some humor in this, but come back to the truth. It's very serious. We can't continue down this path. There is a need. There is a need for Liberians and the government to work for the betterment of the country. If it's not this president, then we'll hope the next president.
Hmm.
But what is of importance now, the magnitude of the matter lies with this new Senate. This Senate with additional added newer politicians who will be lawmakers, who will have to change their mindsets from just the modus operandi, but do things that would benefit the greater country. Because I believe all these guys who came to win, Brani Samuka is sitting pretty. He served as defense minister for 12 years, uninterrupted. He made some good money. He got his businesses. So he's sitting pretty. Plus his $15,000 salary, plus the benefits that come along with it. I don't see why he would want to steal. Edwin Snow is a millionaire. There's no secret about it. He's well off. So I don't see why he want to continue to steal.
Shelton,
compromised.
Shelton, when you say Brandon Samaka has his business or businesses, you should take a pause. There's something called political witch hunt. My man, when you were in power, some of these people are not business people. And I'll be very frank. They are not real business people. Their businesses will only function when they are in government. The moment they leave government, the businesses will collapse. I'll give you an example.
Alex Tyler.
Benena Ure had the biggest farm in Liberia where you were producing eggs and stuff under Taylor regime. When Taylor left and Benena was no longer the business guy that had Wuka farm, guess what? The animals start dying. Go to every other day, animal fall there and die. So you can't function now outside of government. Alex Tyler, the hotel that he built, that he bought, that he paid millions of dollars, within 3 months, he tried to pay the loan back. The business is dead. Brandon Samuka, business shut down. Because now you are not in the government again. And the people within the government are doing political witch hunt. They are retaliating and they are going after you. They rather give the money to the Lebanese man, the Indian man, than their own Liberian man. That's how wicked and evil we are as Liberians. That's what's going on in our country, Shelton.
So but as I was saying, and I'm just speaking from the fact that these guys established themselves, outside of what they were able to garner through the time with government. And, so the expectation is they still have some good money. And we'll hope that they're coming to the House of Senate and Representative is not to continue to enrich themselves, but rather this will be the time that they can impact. Because what legacy do they leave behind? What foundation of a country do they leave behind for the children? Now, granted, a lot of them have children abroad and they're all American citizens or citizens of foreign countries rather. But the same truth here to be told is that who takes care of what you've worked for in Liberia if you don't create an enabling environment for your children to be able to come home and say, I'm going to my country of origin, my father's country or my mother's country. We still have properties. We're still able to do more. We're still able to be an added, asset to the continued development. You understand me? So let us not do things because we want to do it in the now. We want to do it for the future. We want to leave things behind for the children that we are leaving in this world to continue on and keep that legacy going. So you know, instead of just doing things for this moment.
We have a president who calls himself feminist in chief. The all the time you stay in Liberia, when you heard that the country devil coming to town to take the ballot box and take it back in the bush. Boto Cannon is one of the senatorial candidates in Bapolu. The woman is leading. All of a sudden, country devil comes to town, takes the ballot box, and runs back in the bush. They say, okay, we'll do the election on Tuesday the 15th or the 14th. Now, they're asking people to leave the town, but only the CDC candidate can stay in the town along with their entourage. But you have only one female senator. You, the president of Liberia, that call yourself the feminist in chief. You see this thing going on. You can't ask questions. You can't call NEC. You can't call the authorities in power to ask questions and say, what is going on? What is it I'm hearing about country devil coming in the town to intimidate people? You know? The case with Nima County, Edith Gonglo, where at a certain point she had to be afraid for her life. And these are two potential females that could make it in the Senate. But these people pretend as if they love women. And on the other hand, they want to suppress the woman. Before you come in, Shelton, a 12-year-old girl comes to you and say, I want to go to school. I want scholarship. You have daughters who are in the late teens. You have daughters who are in the late 20s, in the 30s. Well, you've decided to make this 12-year-old girl your sex slave. Because your relative decided to send this child to you, to Monrovia, so that this child can one day become somebody. Statutory rape is high in our country. What conversation would you hold with a 12-year-old girl? Don't get me wrong, Liberia has beautiful women. I mean, we'll have all kinds of beautiful women in the country. Your decision to go after underage girls, you are a wizard or a witch, you are practicing nothing but a witchcraft. And shame unto you. And we hope that God can crush you one day for your evil and bad doing to our country and to our children. Children, I want you to come in. We'll quickly go to the telephone line and help you weigh in as well.
Well, man, let's ask for the problem for Liberia remains existential. And I continue to say that it doesn't take rocket science to change Liberia. It just takes people of willing mind, people who really want to see things happen. But again, some of the people who we think we can depend on still have the mindset to leave this country, to come here to learn, to get educated, whether hook or crook, buy some degrees, put it on paper, and to fly to Liberia because they align with certain political parties and the status quo, and to go there and get jobs to hustle on the country. One of the things that I've always thought about in my own experience as a student of leadership, I have said that for Liberia to go forward, the government needs to be the smallest employer in the country. If Liberia will have to go forward, the government cannot be the only employer in the country. Liberia's budget alone on employment, on employees, is bigger than anything in the country. So how much money will be able to go to sectoral development? How much money will be able to go to healthcare, to education, when the government is the biggest employer? When will this government begin to do what we consider in leadership the devolution evolution? theory by subcontracting its services to nonprofit organizations or organizations with the expertise to provide a service so that the taxpayers can go through those organizations to get a service they want uninterrupted. That also helped to curb corruption or minimize it, but at least you have a working system rather than I come to power and then I collect all my men and I employ them, just put them all over the place. Then they also bring in their own people, their own gang, their own girlfriends, their own acquaintances, their own everything. That's what the Liberian, government does, and that's
And what,
why we cannot go forward
I tell
until
you,
we shrink our government to a smaller unit and allow the public sector to expand through other means of employment. We will never change as a country, will remain the same no matter how long we stay in existence, because in the government, that's where corruption breeds and that's where corruption lives.
thank you. Thank you, Shelton. Again, want to go to the telephone line. Folks, if you're listening and you're interested in making a point or two, just keep on the 2 minutes. The telephone number to call is 248-979-1718. That's 248-979-1718. We have the last 4 digits of your number, 9964. Hello, please tell us your name. Hello, caller, please tell us your name. Is he there? Hello? Hello, caller, can you hear me? 610-9964. This is the last 4 digits of your number? Okay. He's not paying attention, Shelton. And again, I think she's okay. Well, 610, the last 4 digits of your number, 3729. Hello. I hope I'm doing everything right at this shot. So no. Hello, caller. 10, the last 4 digits of your number, 3729. Hello.
Hello?
Please do not listen to the receiver. Listen to the telephone. Yeah, tell us your name, please.
Hello, caller? Yes.
Caller? Yeah, tell us your name, sir.
How you doing?
I am fine. Do not listen to the receiver. Listen to the telephone, please. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you. How you doing?
Okay, tell us your name and go ahead. And we
My name is Masaboy Hamad. I'm from Philadelphia.
Okay, you live on the radio. Go ahead and make your point.
Yes, I've been listening to your show. You people were talking about the situations that is going on in Liberia. But one thing I have to say here is that I don't want people blaming people that they are not doing what they're supposed to do. You see, our own Liberians that live in the diaspora, who call themselves the talk show hosts, they are doing bad to our country, thinking that they are doing good. You understand what I'm saying? These guys that go on a talk show, they don't speak against the wrongdoing in Liberia, but they prefer to give credence to whatsoever the government is undertaking in Liberia. And this is embarrassment to our Liberians, brothers and sisters back home. So I just wanted to make that clarification.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And
I think that was a good point.
And Shelton, he's right. Because
Yeah.
I was in Liberia. I saw what I saw. I went from precinct to precinct. And look at the numbers. And then for some of the local radio stations to come on and try to make it seem that the result were different from what we were reporting. This is a stop. This is side. We're gonna go back to the phone line. Hello, caller.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Garley. This is Nankemo calling from Houston, Texas. Welcome back.
Thank you, my brother. You live on the radio. Go ahead and make your point.
Yeah, I just want to say welcome, and I'm happy that you're back home safely. Thank you for the coverage back home. Wherever you went, we follow you, and the information you brought to us was something that really, really got us glued to our devices. So thank you, and I pray that while you're here, you continue doing the work that you love, and we'll be here to support. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Shelton, long before the The U.S. Embassy in Liberia came up with a statement. I told you about the frustration, that people go through on a daily basis. You can't get money from the ATM. Shelton, you'll be surprised that you drive into the bank to go to the ATM. The security then said, don't even waste your time to bang inside. They come in, they're waving a hand to you. No money inside. Or don't even attempt to come. No money, no money. I beg you, just keep driving. Everywhere you went, my man. No
I
money.
mean, I was thinking about, let me be honest with you. I was thinking about going to Liberia in March, but I'm having second thought. I'm just one person. I don't like inconvenience. So I would still be watching the climate. And you and I were thinking about doing same, right? Going back together. Can you imagine what it would be like?
I still have plans to go back in March. Shelton,
Can you imagine you and I in Liberia together?
no, they have to do something, man. Listen, Christmas is around the corner. Shelton, can you tell me your relatives back home? This is going to be the third Christmas on a George Weah. Now, going to be the third Christmas, right?
I saw him light the Christmas tree the other day.
Did you see what Ellen wrote?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh my God. Ellen said, lighting the Christmas tree was impressive. But this is an affront to the bad economy and the angry and the hungry Liberian people. Today.
But why would she write that? When she attributes that to the people being hungry and angry. Let Ellen just forget about these things.
You got something against Ellen.
I don't have anything against Ellen. You know what I hate about Ellen?
Yeah.
Ellen has been underwater since 1970. All right? Ellen has been underwater. Most of our problems. That woman is a solid politician. Okay? She bites and blows. All right? Ellen is no savior. I ain't got nothing against the old mom. But why was she at this time, 3 years later, after she said she wanted generational change, after she said that she will handpick who she wants to put in power, and she handpicked George Weah. So why not she coming back to say these things? Let's be practical here. This is her doing. She's the architect. She orchestrated all of this. So it's not that I hate her. You know how many other Liberians think the same way that I do? Many other Liberians think the same way that I do. I don't hate Ellen. I don't hate Weah. I just hate what they do when they do it wrong. When they do things that hurt the people, that hurt the country, that does nothing for the country and the people. Come on, man. This is sad. Ashford, in Christmas season, no money in the bank. In Christmas season, no money in the country. But the same people who are enjoying, they got everything. You think Ellen longing for anything? You think Ellen's son Robert Selly longs for anything? Her grandchildren? Her sister? Her friends?
But
She's not going that country well, man.
Shelton, why? I'm sensing a little beef between Ellen and this president. Ellen doesn't seem to be happy. You remember when President Weah came to power, and he said he was going to, was it before then when he said you were going to rate Ellen 80%, and then the next thing he said he was going to protect Ellen and her family?
Yeah.
But why is she now distancing herself from this boy? What is going on?
So here's the political gimmick here. And I would say this because Ellen sees that there is a new wave coming. You talked about the tsunami, you talked about the avalanche of the Liberian people mindset toward leadership now. They're becoming awakening. And so she sees this. All right. So let's say 3 years from now, Ellen's still around and she wants to live in prom and pageantry in Liberia. And another government comes to power and that government decides to hold Ellen foot to the fire, hold Weah's foot to the fire, go after them, whether nationally or internationally. So she's beginning to start, changing her tune so that it can be somehow sympathetic down the road when a new government comes to power who's going to go after all these folks. Let me be honest with you. These people who have continued why that country will not go with impunity. There come a day when they all will have to account for it.
Somebody said President Weah just responded to her tweet and it's damaging. But hold that thought. Let us go back to the telephone line. We have a 978 number. The last 4 digits of your number, 2338. Hello.
Yeah, ASHFORD GARLEY. My name is Augustus Flomo. And before I even start saying what I want to say, I just want to ask you a simple question. What are you basing your giving credence to Ellen on? I mean, you said, did you hear what Ellen said? I mean, why are you giving Ellen Johnson credence? I mean, for what? I mean, I just want to ask you a question. Based on what?
Mr. Flomo, I mean, she's the expert. She's in the news, and we as news reporter is to report the news. I mean, I'm not giving her credence. I'm just simply reporting the news. You know what I mean?
The way you said it, I heard it like exactly how your co-host heard it. Both of us heard it the same way. It's like, trying to tell your co-host that, Ellen is above some kind of a reproach, and then your co-host was correct. And your co-host, and you even told him, my man, you got something against Ellen. No, he doesn't have anything against Ellen. Me.
Again, Flomo, we as news reporters.
Yeah.
The news, and it is our responsibility, and it is also our responsibility to pick the brains of whoever we interact with. And so when I go to Shelton, they're asking, say whether you have something personal against Ellen. It is within my prerogative to do so.
No, you're right. You are absolutely correct. But I was just surprised that you wanted to give that woman some kind of credence when before she left power, she said Liberia tightened the belt. Just so you know, we were going to be up for very economic difficult times. And the reason why she said that, she knew what our government had done before leaving power. And I just want to comment on what somebody just said. Somebody said every government official, they should declare the asset before they take office. And let me tell you one thing. We Liberians, we really need to learn so many things. The government officials, or those coming to power, they can declare all the assets they want to declare. There's so many ways these people can hide stolen money. The Cayman Islands, Banana Republic, you can use third parties, so many ways. So the idea that they should, like when DeLong declares, I said it was a big deal. Look, there's so many ways government officials can hide corrupt money. I just want my Liberian brothers to know that does not mean anything. There's so many, and you know, Mr. Garley, you know what I'm talking about. They can declare all the assets they want to declare in this world. When it's still government money, there are so many ways to hide it. They're not going to put it in a bank account with George, we are on it, or Darrell DeLong on it.
Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you. Okay. We have a 617 number, 3389. Hello, tell us your name.
Yeah, hi, ASHFORD. Good evening. This is Emmanuel Jackson calling.
Mr. Jackson, welcome to the show. Go ahead and make your point, please.
Yeah. Well, I just want to give a little history because what we've been happening in our country. It was said to us right after the race riot when we went to President Tolbert's office as a student representative. And he said exactly what's happening now to Liberia. And like Shelton said, Ellen was a seasoned politician. They were pressuring the government at that time, not realizing that what was going to take place was going to destroy the institution of Liberia. And we see ourselves to square one. We see ourselves as being categorized among the poorest country in the world now. So we were far ahead. So I think right now the situation in Liberia should go on a receivership, and we try to settle some of this, the issue of the kind of stealing that took place in the country, broad-day stealing. That country was robbed broad day, and people are just running away from it. And the international community need to put a break on it. And like what they did to Vonnie Sherman, they need to go after everybody that have done bad to that country. This is almost like the first time I've seen in the history of Liberia, Christmas season, no money in the bank. I mean, the pressure on us in the diaspora to help people back home is tremendous, that some of us can't even support our own family yet because we have to keep sending low money back home, cutting our bills here and there just to help people back home. This thing needs to stop.
Thank you, my brother.
We can't have a bunch of people, just irresponsible people running a country, man. This is a country.
Thank you.
And the country has wealth.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Again, Shannon, we'll have less than 10 minutes to go, but we're going to go to this call out. It's a 267 number, 9692. Please tell us your name.
Manji Toure from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
You're live on the radio. Go ahead and make a point, please.
Yeah, thank you so very much for the show and welcome back. But yeah, let me just talk a little bit on that Ellen tweet. Let me tell you this. For so long, Ellen have taken and like bring people on a ride, but I think she coming to a last straw. What she wrote over there was garbage, and the president did not help himself responding the way he did. They are both implemented. And the worst part about it is that this was a classical example of a temporary relationship going bad. A relationship that was built on deep compromise.
Can somebody please send me the president's response, man?
It's bad. I will send it to you, but it just as deeming. That's why Ellen wrote. President Weah did not do himself justice. He should have just left that Omar alone, but he himself decided to respond to something that he did not. Oh man, it's bad. But thank you so much for the show. I appreciate you always.
Okay, my brother. Thank you, and thanks for being a part. And Shelton, before this caller,
yeah, that's what I was wanting to say.
There was a caller who talked about the okay, hold that thought. Then you can come in on that one. Let's get as many callers in as we get to the end of Musu Benson, hello.
So welcome back.
Thank you, my sister.
I just want to say thanks for your work that you did in Liberia. I was following you all the way. I just want to say thank you for working for the Liberian people. We really, really appreciate what you did in Liberia.
Thank you.
As someone just said that the Liberian people, they can to declare their assets if Ghana can do it. And when you get whatever you declare as your assets and you get more than what you have, the Ghanaian government, you get more than when you keep you bring as a minister, you declare after you get surplus, that Ghana can hold a lot of government buildings, government property, government cars. It's this there. If we practice those things, it will work because if you had it, whatever you say you declare, and we find out that you get more than what you're supposed to have, the government can seize more than if you get one, you declare 1 or 2 houses, you end up with 5 houses, the government can seize the other 2. At least they give you one extra one because you will maybe decide to build that. We have to get with the thing, it will not work, this will not work. Everything, if we put our mind to it, and we have government that will really put their feet down and make the people to know this is this. I think that's all. Whenever the people are killing people, you know, fighting people about it, when you end up putting your own brother, your own nephew, other people on the pool, those things are. We get somebody who will be able to do those things in Liberia, and I know.
I think we lost the caller.
Take our mind for those things. This will not work. This will what will work now. Everything somebody you're brought in, good idea. What will work in Liberia?
Okay.
I really appreciate what you're saying.
Thank you.
I really appreciate everything.
Thank you, Miss Benson. Thank you so much for being a part on the show tonight. Thank you so much. We have Moses on the line from Arizona. Moses, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Garley. Thanks to your co-host there. I just want to thanks for the program. Happy pre-birthday to you. Welcome back. It's always a good thing to be on the show. I have 2 major concerns here concerning the activities going on and some of the things you guys were discussing today. The first one is the issue of the money from the bank. I just want to bring to the attention of the public that these are some of the things that have the potential to for government to collapse. And this is not a joking matter. This is not a joking matter because, like we're saying, we keep saying it's not about Christmas money or our regular tradition. It's just, okay, if money is not there, when is money going to be there? How long is it going to take? And the economy got to keep going on. And so if the government cannot show face for this can result into the people standing up against them. This can result into the common people coming in the street. And this will be a serious problem for this government that is already shaky from this tsunami that just went on through the Senate elections. But another thing again that caught my attention was this whole Ellen thing. The first thing I wanted to say is I'm not sure if that response was from President George Weah. He could assert that it's not from him, but I would say to the public to remind, or if this was from him and he claims it, this will be a second shot that he's taking at the president emeritus. Concerning the first time was he put her son in jail. And Ellen does not take those kind of things well to her public image.
Hold on, Moses. Hold on, Moses. Shelton, I hope you got the message.
I got it. I'm looking at it, so I'm waiting. So
and when he finishes, we can take a look at it.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So like I was saying, Ellen does not take her public image being destroyed. That's one thing she don't work around. She don't fool around with. But the most important thing here is the Liberian people should remember though. One of George Weah's mandate that he had, one of his policies, one of the things that he said he would do to the Liberian people was to protect Ellen and her children. The question now is, has he stopped? Or doesn't want to do it anymore? But we'll watch and see how it plays out. Thank you so much, Mr. Garley, as we look forward to following the show here.
Okay, we have two more callers on the line, and then we can go back to Shelton to hear the response from George Weah. We have Abraham Sano on the line. Abraham, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Garley. Thank you, Regina.
You're welcome.
My brother, welcome back.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all you do for Mama Liberia.
You're welcome.
You know, Mr. Garley, I shed tears when I saw that post, that stupid piece that Sarah was saying that the post that came on that you were supporting Tifa. When I saw that post with the kind of man I know you to be, I tell you why I shed tears. But later when you came on air and say that it was fake news and things, then I restore back my trust in the media. But thank you very much, brother, for what all you're doing. I think our problem in Liberia is coming to a good end because the two people who were on the farm and they didn't know where they had him. George Weah and Eddie know where they put Liberia problem. So at this time now they are fighting among themselves. By the grace of God, Liberia suffering is coming to an end. My brother, I appreciate you for all you did when you in Liberia.
Thank you.
Sorry for you when you're on the back.
Thank you, my brother. Thank
very
you
much. God bless you. Boy.
Thank you. Okay. This last caller, then we'll go back to Shelton. This is a 973 number. The last four digits of your number is 8451. Please tell us your name.
My name is May Carter, calling from New Jersey.
Hey, May, how you doing? Season greetings. My birthday is on the 27th, though.
You got it.
Okay.
And Astro mine is on January 1st.
I know.
You got it.
Okay.
I want to thank you for your time being in Liberia. I just want to respond to one of your quarters about declaring the Liberian government officials, they are all rogues. Because right now I am in court with the Deputy Chief of Armed Forces of Liberia, Geraldine George. Yes. I'm in court with her for my land. And just for them to put a notice up for the survey, I came to realize she bought 1 acre and the other acre was bought by, I know, Aquatia, Moses Gray, or Aquarium.
Akaras.
These are the kind of things that make us to feel that we don't have any country again. Because they are all government officials that are supposed to know better. I came into this country when I was 24 years old. I've been here for 34 years. I have 2 more years to retire from the state of New Jersey to go back home just to find out that they have taken my land.
You know, land issue is something that we're going to touch on. It's very big in Liberia. You break people's heart when they work so hard for their property, and you just come and take it because you feel you have some type of power. This is just not so fair, you know.
But what really hurts me, after I approached the issue of them buying the land, we went to the court. She told the court that she had spent $40,000 building on the land. Now, mind you, the land was empty. She said she bought it for $8,000. It was empty. And I sent 3 men to her to appeal to her that the land was mine. Knowing it, Then she put $40,000 on the land, building on it as we speak. But you know what? We are all Liberians. I would not give up because the 40,000 that they're getting is a free money, and I work in the snow here for 34 years, and I would give up. That's all I just want to say. That they cannot declare the assets because they are stealing people's property. They will not be able to declare any assets because it's all good money. Thank you and welcome back. Your Christmas on me.
Thank you, Miss Carter. Okay, Shelton, I want you to comment. And just before that, we want to appeal to our members, our viewers, our supporters that we are going to be launching this membership drive where we are asking each member or supporter to chip in for the upkeep of the platform. You know, Sheldon is a professional man. He comes in every now and then, takes some time off his busy schedule to do this. You know, we have a team on the ground. We have to sustain them. You know, the government on the other side or the opposition on the other side trying to get us to compromise to support them. But we maintain our neutrality. We maintain our professionalism. So we're asking each of you, you know, to at least support the cause. $10 every month. That's what we're asking. How you want to do this? You want to do it on a quarterly basis, a biannual basis, or the yearly basis? The board is in your code. You know, support the platform. The Cash App is on there. The Zelle is on there. We're asking you to just commit, do something for Bridge Radio Africa. $10 a month. That's not a biggie. We're asking you to help us out. You know, we'd rather ask you than to go behind the bush and take money from these people and pretend as if we are neutral. All money is not good money. I'm telling you, all money is not good money. But if you come and work in the interests of the country and ask, sincerely ask, that what we're doing now, I think you should look out for us. Shelton?
So let me tell you something. I think it's good right now when we are and Ellen are fighting. And it's good for the political atmosphere.
Somebody asked whether the drive has started. Yes, the drive has started already. So again, if you want to commit to perhaps do it quarterly, that is every 3 months, or do it biannually, that every 6 months, or just say, you know, since it's $10, let me do $120 for the whole year. Or if you can do more, you know, if you can do more than $10, don't hesitate. Go ahead and do it. We're just asking for $10. You know, come on. Listen, the equipment we have here, the software, all these things cost money, you know, and we're just asking you to look out for us, you know, so that one leg, funny-looking politician can't come and say, listen, man, Shelton, when you go to press conferences in Liberia, when you see our brothers and sisters reduce themselves to just after the press conference, we as professionals supposed to split the same and not hang around to wait for somebody to say, and yet $20 to pay your way, then how will your story be? How can you tell the truth? How can you report for the people? You know, when people saw me going from prison to prison, I was not being paid by Darius DeLong or George Weah or Thomas Fowler. We spent our own money. And for people to come on here and say, oh, you went to support Darius DeLong, I said to you that I raised money for DeLong, and I did it in a professional manner. I don't need a damn thing from Darius DeLong. He's not my friend. But what I did it for Liberia. So don't come here and disrespect people, man. Go ahead, Sheldon.
So for those of our listeners and viewers who have not seen the response of the president, not quite sure, but again, the president says here, Madam Former President, let me refresh your memory about what the word opulence means. And she may have used the word opulence in her first tweet. So opulence is when Chevron gives 10 million US dollars as CSR and you give it to your son to squander.
Wow.
Opulence is when you have a $4 billion in foreign direct investment but leave Liberia in abject squalor and poverty. Opulence is when you have 11 budget shortfalls in 12 years and yet spend tens of millions on failed projects like the executive mansion repair fiasco.
Wow. They bought.
Opulence is when you spend over $1 million for oral law consultations, but only to bring your high school grandson or grandchild to speak to experts. You remember the kid that came from Alaska?
Yeah, they bought making plow to know. Yeah, go ahead, Sheldon. I remember the kid.
Opulence is when after 12 years of billions of dollars of foreign aid, you still leave the country with $1 billion debt that my government is now paying back.
Wow.
There are 1,000 more examples, but let me leave you with these few for now. Opulence is not when you use an old Christmas tree and choirs to celebrate the birth of our Lord Jesus. So, Mr. Weir, you had your day to be right by the Liberian people, to represent them, to speak for them, to fight for them. They, in the thousands, in the millions, gather and said that they wanted you. You were in opposition for 12 years. You saw all the crap that was going on. You even was a part of the crap. But in as much as you were part of the crap, coming to power now, taking that gavel in your hand, with that overwhelming, support from the people, you had every opportunity to do right by them. Unfortunately, you said that you would protect Ellen, you would protect her children. What does that make you? That makes you an ally.
Is this
you a part of?
Hey, Sheldon, is he ready? Does he really want to go into the fight with Ellen?
Let me just finish this quick. I beg. So that makes you an ally. That makes you a partner. That makes you part of what is unfolding today. So I will tell you, you're fighting a losing battle. Ellen is well schooled. Ellen did not rest until she got Dole. Ellen did not rest until she got Torba. Ellen did not rest until she got Taylor. And Ellen will not rest until she gets you. And I'll leave it there.
Shelton, when I said from the onset of the show that George Weah is done, George Weah is finished. Listen, when you hear people like Jefferson Kolje and then chanting, they are crying because under the responsible government, George Weah will be audited. His officials, the likes of
Maggie,
the likes of Maggie, the likes of the likes of Finabono that can better express themselves. These are people that are so close to power in our country. And again, it is now time to put a responsible opposition that can work together. The senators that were elected, you now have the opportunity to work for your colleagues to even get rid of George Weah before 2023. And you have that power. Put greed aside. We know your past history for some of you. It is not time to put Liberia first. This boy has literally destroyed the country within 3 years. How do we regain our respect? People don't want to come to, who wants to do business in a country that does not have electricity? No safe drinking water. Shelton, the 14 military urgent care that are hospital, don't call that. urgent care. You can call that piece of trash a hospital. When people get sick, they go out of the country to seek medical attention, and you say you're building state-of-the-art hospital. That's a urgent care. That's the 14 military urgent care. Shelton, the men build markets all over the places. Guess what?
The people don't want to go in the market.
Go in the market. They still saying that. What will be there to enforce the law for these people to leave the streets? What's the essence of building marketplaces?
So yeah, so as I was saying, so yes, why you think the Liberian women call Ellen Ma Ellen? The woman is the mother of the land. The woman is the female politician. Let me tell you something. I'll be honest with you. Many of the male politicians in our country are afraid of Ellen. So George Weah, he may be an international celebrity and superstar when it comes to soccer, or when it comes to the inner workings of politics and the depth politics, the one I can, you know, I don't want to even tell you what it does for you or does for you. That's Ellen. So he wasting his time to go in or take for tag fight with her. I think he needs to use his energy to do well for the people in the next 3 years, if he still have desire to be around, rather than thinking he's going to have a fight with Ellen, because Ellen is exceptionally seasoned. And as I said, I named some of the big people she brought down, from President Tobel to Doe and to Charles Taylor. Charles Taylor is sitting in the Hague looking at a concrete ceiling because of Ellen. And what happened? They came and handpicked Ellen and put her in power.
And I won't be surprised if Charles Taylor and George Weah become roommate. but so and then Taylor was saying, "Man, I told you what my job." I tell you. So when Charles asked the boy many years ago in the early 2000s, "You want my job?" And he lied to Charles and said, "No, I don't want your job. I'm not even thinking about it." Not knowing this boy wanted to one day become president, and yet we are today. You know, and Charles is behind bars, looking at this boy. I mean, the Oma is solid. In as much as she done some dirty things to Liberia and I don't like, she's solid. She got the international community hand, backing her. She was handpicked to become president for 12 years, even with all of the things that happened. They still put money. They still backed her. She's powerful nationally and internationally. And as I said, the real local politicians, the Brownie, not Brownie, but Vani Shermer, Edwin Snow, all these guys, all of them who on the grounds, they're afraid of Ellen. When Ellen is in the room, it's pin drop. And I don't know what it's doing, because the last person you want to mess with is Ellen. Yeah. Ellen has connections. I mean, she has the ears of the international community. Somebody just added that she arrested Judy Bryant and jailed him. George Weah is president. He's been president for 3 years. George Weah signed more book of condolences than investment contracts or investment initiative for our country. Every other day somebody dying, you go and sign book of condolence. But how many investors are you attracting? This is just so sad for our country, man. But you know what is intriguing? If he can lament and bullet these key issues and knew of them, and inaugurally said that he would protect Ma Ellen and her children, when he had all of this credible information of things that were not done for the Liberian people, and the people expected more of you. Let me tell you something. I was in Liberia during the electoral season, and even the guys who were doing projects for me, the local masons, the carpenters, I almost got vexed with them and said, "My man, I'll take my job from y'all if y'all want to be talking about we are business here and y'all coming to vote for we are." The beginning flat up told me, he said, "Boss man, you can take a job. When we are kind of power, we get job. We depending on we are. We would bring job. We would do this. We would do that." That's what we're telling me. Then a washing car on Madonna Street. They said, when you take your car for them to wash your car, they say, "Baby, the thing that they gave me, don't worry. When we have become president, I will double it. I will give it to him, because the car will be driving. Said the car will be the car will be brand new than the kind of thing that you bring here. So the thing that you give me to wash the car, I will take it. But when we have become president, I'll pay your money back." That's how convinced these people were. The people were. And some of them are still convinced. But Sheldon, though, let me ask you this. George Weah knew all of this about the fiasco at No Car, and the concession agreement that was squandered by Ellen, right? Why didn't he do something? Why didn't he go after Ellen and her corrupt officials, according to him? Why he sat down and said, I am going to protect the former president and her children? Why didn't he go after her? You call this man a serious man? Because he came with a notion to steal. He came and said, you know what? I squandered my money because of mental instability. Look, if George Weah was in America without the presidency, he would have been on some type of disability, mental disability. I'm telling you. That's how dysfunctional this boy is.
Yeah, but as for, unfortunately, I think, as I said, it's good for Liberia. It's good for Liberians that Ellen and Weah can go tit for tat. I don't know who's going to win it, but I know that Ellen is consummate when it comes to politics. But again, is it necessary? When Liberian people coming to have Christmas with no money in the country, they're not looking at Ellen right now. You and I can talk about Ellen, all the negative things we want to say. It doesn't change the fact that he's the president and he's the one who needs to be steering this vessel, using the compass, the economic compass to change the economy. What I think President Weah's problem is he has his group of people he believes in, but are they really doing what is expected? And is he checking them? Is he bringing them to the meeting and say, listen, man, this was supposed to happen, why is not happening? Or they're just running a boys club, and when they meet at Jamaica, it's all chilling, my man. Let's drink and enjoy ourselves. It's Christmas, man, So let's start thinking about Ellen. Let him focus on giving the people what they need, man.
Gerald comments from North Dakota. Gerald.
Compliment of the season and welcome back.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, and wish you the same for the compliment of the season.
Let me extend my greeting also to VOLCANO Shelton.
Thank you, bro.
As for, you struck a point a few minutes ago with the concession agreement and why is it that George Weah never made any attempt to go after Madam Salih concerning those concession, the 68 concession agreement. Out of those 68 concession agreements, 66 of those concession agreements went through to some means. But here is the thing, though, Ashford. You see, the facts are there, but I'll put the card squarely at an equilibrium, right? Journalists in the country today and yesterday themselves, some of them have been very lazy to do some follow-up on those different concession agreements, to bring the information to the public. I'll give you one typical example. In 2005 to 2006, there was a company called Bridgeway. Bridgeway came from Great Britain. Bridgeway came in the country through the former Lands and Mines Minister, Jonathan Mason, right? And Bridgeway was in the country at the time. Bridgeway gave most of the lawmakers, I think all the lawmakers got a vehicle. They got a 4-wheel drive for a mining concession agreement. That concession agreement raised serious concern for the people who, by constitutional provision, were elected to ably represent the people, were giving all kind of flimsy excuses to defend themselves. That at the time, they needed those vehicles so that they can go to see their constituents or go to their constituency to meet with their people, and the vehicles were needed. That was the first place when Madam Salih took over. That was one of the first place I knew that come what may, all other concession agreements, we were going to have problems. Then you notice when the Fraternal Pavilion and a group at the Unity Conference Center, small group, I think they were at the conference center, and Talos Group at the Satana Pavilion, we started getting incredible information that what transpired. As a matter of fact, I was the journalist who interviewed then Representative Saboli on my program. Saboli openly told the Liberian people on my program that he received $5,000 from the executive mansion to remove snow. You know that 2 hours later, Saboli appeared on Truth FM and told Ambrose Darrow's mom that he never received a dime. When he left the studio, I called him and said, Honorable, you on tape. He said, look, I'm going to go to your bossman, Benny, now if you release that tape. I said, no, I dare you. You just go there. I will release the tape. You on tape. You just told us that you received your $5,000. You don't even want to know who the money came from, but you received $5,000. So why the school that President Weah, back, as the president of the Republic of Liberia, there was a serious need to go after Madam Salim, like her, Kabina Janet, who today is a hero. Well, most people don't know the story. When you talk about it, they put the issue of ethnicity, they put the issue of Kabina being the liberators, Kabina being a hero, who don't know that Chairman Judah Bryan, the late Chairman Judah Bryan, walked for temporal justice from the Justice Ministry in 25 adult slippers straight to Morovia Store Beach. Don't quote anybody, say quote Giroux, come as you can follow that story, right? Kabina Janet then carried Judah Bryan to Central Prison for corruption, from where ECOWAS audit report. Madam Salim said, oh, I'm filing the ECOWAS audit report. Only to see today that a George Manning here, who is the president of the Republic of Liberia, couldn't even follow the GSC report or the different report to audit this government. Oh, Mr. Garley, let me say that, my good friend. I blame some of the media practitioners because some of them are not adequately informed. Some got the story, but 99% of the radio stations in the country are being run by politicians.
And that's why, and Jared, and that's why we're asking our followers here in the diaspora to help us out. We had limited capacity to do what we had to do when we went to Liberia to cover these elections, and with the help of the people here in the diaspora, that we say, the membership fund drive now $10 a month will help us to keep British Radio Africa, and we will go out there and work in the interest of the Liberian people, not for George Weah, not for the CPP, but for the vast majority of the people. They attempted and called us and said, we need your support. I said, no, we didn't come here for that. We came here for Liberia, and that's what we'll do. But thank you, Gerald. Gerald, wrap up within 1 minute. We'll have another call on the line, and we'll go back to Shelton and call this a night.
My brother, all I can say is there's a serious power vacuum in our country. Whether the CPP or the ruling establishment or the Rainbow Coalition, there's a serious power vacuum in our country. And it's just about time for innovative thinkers to wake up and say, look, we can't do this thing over and over, or else, as we, like we had the B-ball 1, B-ball 2, we'll soon have B-ball 4, B-ball 5 story. Thank you, man, Aisha.
Yeah, and Shelton, what he just said, in 2016, I saw it firsthand. The same Akara's grade that was in bombing, trying to introduce Ellis Tyler, they were there trying to remove Ellis Tyler on the watch of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and they all were tempered with 5,000 a year. Even the Snowden, they all took money to remove Ellis Tyler. Jahas Snow removed.
Ellis Tyler took a deal for Snow.
Our speaker,
Yeah, Snow.
But we want to go back to Dodi. Dodi is on the line. Jedward, welcome, my brother.
Yeah. How you doing, Ashford?
Good.
Okay, Shelton and Ashford, your election. Your election came.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take this time to tell that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, thank you very much for giving us George Weah as president of the Republic of Liberia. And let me tell you the reason why. The reason is this. If Joshua had not, or if Joshua were not president at this time, the youth of Liberia will still be convinced that George Weah is a Messiah, George Weah is a savior, and George Weah is everything in our society. People blame Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She handpicked George Weah to become Liberian president. And Omar, thank you very much. After the administration of George Weah, no celebrity will become president of our country. And let me end up by saying this. You see, cat, whosoever that raised cat, have 9 hours memory thinking. If you take your cat from your house and give it to somebody, after the 9 hours, that cat will never ever know you no more. Even if you're going close to that cat will go by. And that's exactly what George Weah is. If George Weah can listen, all the advices you radio talk show hosts then given to George Weah. Then by the time I remember, I think 1980, when those took over, I was 14 years old. Those were just 8th students. But those came in this country and got Liberia $5 billion United States dollars from Reagan. And Liberia was booming. My first $1,000, it was Doe coin. When I bought a coffee for a Mandingo man, my first $1,000. And there where I remembered.
Was that 5 billion or 500 million?
I remember that 1,000 for myself. If George Weah can learn, Lodi, you know, when I saw you in Liberia, you were going up and down. When you came the last time I asked you, is Liberia clean? You said, I will be on the show day after tomorrow. Thank you very much for going to Liberia to come and tell us how George Weah government is and how the Liberian people are doing. And today, I saw Senator Frank talking about transformer, talking about light. He started saying, if you want Christmas tree, you'll go to your light. If you want transformer in your community, you'll go to your light. This is how, you know, they are in Liberia. Thank you very much, Lori. Thank you for having me.
And Shelton, speaking of the transformer, listen, the board brings in 240 transformer. I'm told, and I'm also told he has it, a photograph on the transformer. Listen, when 60% of what we hear is electricity theft, bringing in the transformers is one thing. How do you regulate? How do you stop people from stealing power? Power theft. So I mean, this same transformer will blow up again, and then the Liberian people will go right back to square one.
That means the overloading the transformer, right?
And say, listen, let us learn from our neighbors. How do we maintain stable electricity? Electricity is important. Nobody will want to invest in your country if you don't have light. Nobody will be attracted to come to your country if you don't have light. Look, Ghana blew my mind. Nairobi, Kenya blew my mind. Liberia is 173 years old. And all these politicians think about is to look good, dress good, for their own selfish gain. They don't give a damn about the country and the people. It is all about themselves.
We've said this over and over and over and over, Ashford. Okay, we've talked about this over and over. But I like the last caller. I think he made a very, very brilliant point. There is a reason for why Ellen did what she did. And maybe it was to get the monkey off the Liberian people back. It's the same way the Liberian people decided to overwhelmingly vote Taylor into power for fear that he might have gone back to the bushes if he didn't win the elections. And they're resolved now to go back to war and have thousands and thousands of people die again. So let's give it to him. And my Ellen said, I'm coming for him. When I made it 6 years, she took him out. So the same my Ellen said, Baka, go home, go relax. Keep the car in the garage. Keep the race car in the garage. Let's put a young man so that the young people can say the old people keep holding on to this thing. Let's give him the opportunity and let's see how he's going to make a mess. And then they can get him off, we all can get him off our backs. And maybe he's not understanding the tactics of Ellen here. But the guy is right. Yeah, probably that's why she did what she did. So that at least the young people can come back and say they didn't have an opportunity for a young man to bring change to the country. It's just that he may not have been the right man. They just use popularity sentiments, to get President out of power.
I know your partner. Tomorrow we're gonna play host to a very angry citizen. The name is Joel Williamson out of PA. He wants to come out and express himself about how he felt about the just ended, special elections. So Joel Williamson is our special guest tomorrow night. And, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we start the program at 8 p.m. in America. That will be 12 midnight in Liberia. So tomorrow will be starting at 8 p.m. So Joel will be on here tonight, tomorrow night. Joel Williamson is our special guest. And Sheldon, with that, just give us your pardon comment, and then we can call this night.
Well, I thought it was great conversation. As always, we want to thank our listeners and viewers, Bridge Radio Africa. Ashford just spilled the cat out of the bag. One of the ways that we can sustain this platform is for us to have subscription of memberships to help us do what we do. Everything being done here is coming out of pocket, and I'm one person who is afraid that we're going to take money from any political party or the government, because that compromises the integrity we want to build and the integrity we want to sustain. The purpose of this platform is not for Liberia in particular, but it's for Africa in general, because it's not just Liberia that is faced with corruption, bad governance, Sierra Leone next door, Guinea, the Ivory Coast, and it's all over the continent. So we can keep this platform as transparent as possible, accountable as possible, but it can only be done when people are willing to support it rather than putting money into it because they have, intent for us to do public relations for them, even if it's wrong. So please commit. You'll be hearing more in the coming days. We continue to brainstorm around it. Ashford and the board and the team will be getting to you, whether by, letters here, there, and yonder. Once we receive your addresses, we can make this formal and we can get some things going. But we want to thank you for continuing to support us. We think that your support is more than just being here with us and listening and spreading the word. It's even more palpable and important for this platform. So Ashford, hopefully tomorrow this guy will come on and we can talk about more things that are very, very, burning for the country, and how this government and the CDC, if one of their own insiders will want to talk, then that means there's a lot happening in Liberia.
Thank you, Sheldon. Thank you. And folks, I'm afraid it's all the time we have to be with you tonight. God willing, we will be back tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we'll play host to Mr. Joel Williamson, a member of the CDC. He has a lot on his plate. He has something to say, and he becomes our special guest tomorrow night on Bridge Radio Africa. Hey, as always, want to say a big thank you to the people that reached out to yesterday and today. And I was so overwhelmed with their reception that they want to help Bridge Radio Africa, in in supporting the drive, the membership drive. And some are waiting to commit to a $10 a month. If you can do more, we appreciate it. We're asking you for just $10 a month. You can choose to pay quarterly. That's every 3 months, every 6 months. You can pay for the year. For the year, just $120. I know $120 is nothing to a lot of people. $60, 6 months, and $30, 3 months. Some people offer to do more. We're asking you to do this for us. You know, when these politicians see us, before they can even think about asking us to twist our tongue, they will have to think twice. Like what we did when we went to Liberia. You know, Joshua, they know how we went to Liberia. You know, the opposition or Dillon, they know how we went to Liberia. We went to Liberia because we felt that these elections were very important. And we had to go there to make our presence felt. And that's what we did. And the Liberian people spoke out in record-breaking numbers. Something that I've never seen before in a long time. Well, we still have more to say. We'll join you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. With that said, please allow me to borrow the wordings of the wise man. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. The height of a man is never known until he rises, because there's no second chance to make that first impression. Don't see okra and swallow bone, because you can't hide your nakedness from beef and bucket. When God bless you, don't see that medicine. When you see a crawfish come from underneath the water and say the crocodile here sweating, don't see the lie. Folks, c'est tout pas yégué, c'est bon plus dans un dia quoi mais on dirait ji. Basi yon plus. C'est qu'on ria yé pelia. Ni sa pokli ki akpaki auto dry, aju adi wapo, mo jimi an dry, on kola ya dueblo. Dwe wen chance on it. I draw jail. The medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia, the brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. Ashford the Giant. That now you know me, Garley. Have a good night.